What's up, friends and decoders? Hope you guys are all doing great out there today. And I just wanted to release this video and go over this story that's been going viral. I don't know if a lot of you guys have heard of this, the Hawk Tuah girl. And if you guys have heard of it, I wanted to decode this because it became such a viral phenomenon that it just seemed that there was something that I needed to look into with this. And so we're going to connect some crazy things here. If you guys don't know what this is, I'm going to explain a bit of what it is. And I'm sorry that it's a bit vulgar, this whole thing, but I think it's worth showing. So let's jump into it. First of all, who is Hawk Tour Girl? Everything to know about the woman behind the meme. One day she was an anonymous concert goer drinking at a CMA fest. The next day she was an internet sensation. Hawk Tuah is a viral meme born out of a man on a street interview with Tim and D TV, where he asked the girl, "What's one move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time?" And this unknown 21-year-old Haley Welch, she says, "You got to give him that Hawk Tuah and spit on that thing." Well, again, guys, it's a bit vulgar, but I really wanted to go over what this is connected to. So first of all, they call her the Hawk Tuah girl. That's what she's known by now. And that equals 111 in Aleister Crowley's Kubala cipher. I'm going to go over this in a minute. But that's interesting because her real name is Haley Welch, which equals 111. And notice that in Sumerian, she equals 666, like witchcraft. And I'm going to talk about that in a minute also. And we're going to talk about Horus, the Egyptian god, the Eye of Horus. But Horus is a falcon-headed god, okay? And notice that the word falcon equals 111 and 666. So you have all these 111s, and you have this Haley Welch, which equals 111, and she's the Hawk Tuah girl, which equals 111. That translates to 666, which you guys know what that number is. So with that being said, I just thought it was interesting also that her title that she's been given, Hawk Tuah girl, equals Freemasonry in almost 3 out of 4 ciphers. So that's another connection, but that's just one of the smaller ones. But now we need to talk about what this whole thing, I believe, is really about, and I think it's pretty clear to see. So we're talking about the word Hawk Tuah, and this is how they all spell it, right? So there's a reason why they came out with this spelling of this thing, okay? You could have spelled it different ways. But I want you guys to notice that the word Tuah, if you spell it like this, Tuah, is actually an Indonesian word, and it means luck, but it also means magic or witchcraft. I've been talking a lot about magic because I've been talking a lot about all the abracadabra stuff going on with Eminem, and I've been tying that into Aleister Crowley, the ceremonial musician who created the religion Thelema, which is connected to Horus. But anyway, Hawk Tuah girl, she even has shirts, as you guys can see over here on the left. Hawk Tuah girl dressed as a Statue of Liberty, okay? But anyways, so in Indonesian, the word Tuah, spelled Tuah, means magic or witchcraft. And the word hawk is a bird of prey, a bird that preys from the sky, like the eye in the sky, right? So a hawk or a falcon, very similar, not the same, but I think doesn't matter because they've clearly given us this symbolism. Now, what is it about Horus that I believe that this may connect to Horus and Osiris, the father of Horus? Well, in the story of Horus, his father Osiris is slain and cut into 14 pieces. The wife of Osiris, Isis, has to gather all the pieces, but she doesn't find the phallus. And you guys know what that is. Hopefully you guys know what a phallus is. She doesn't find the phallus, so she uses magical powers to resurrect Osiris and fashions a phallus to conceive her son Horus. So this whole trend of Hawk Tuah girl is about a phallus, right? She's spitting on a phallus. And now Tuah means witchcraft or magic. So the word Hawk Tuah in my means, references the magic that was used to conceive the son, Horus. Okay? And you guys can see the picture here on the right with the phallus, the statue with the phallus. Okay? So, with that being said, we're going to take a look into the religion called Thelema, which has Horus in the religion and Osiris. It's connected to the Egyptian deities. But one of the main numbers in this religion is the number 93. The number 93 is significant in Thelema. The central philosophy of Thelema is in two phases from the Liber Al. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law, and love is the law, love under will. Crowley urged their use in everyday communications and himself used them to greet people. The two primary terms in these statements are will and love, respectively. Using the Greek technique of isosophy, which is gematria, guys, which is what I'm using in this decode, which applies a numerical value to each letter. The letters of the Greek word thelema, which is will, and the letters of the Greek word agape, which is love. In Greek, both of these words sum to 93, guys. I highlighted it. Thelema in Greek adds up to 93. Agape in Greek adds up to 93. In fact, Crowley would end and start his writings saying 93. Okay, so big number, and I'm going to show you why this is important. Because in gematria, guys, Aleister Crowley named his book Liber al vel legis. That's the Latin word for Book of the Law, and that equals 93, as I've showed many times before. But the name of this girl is Hawk Tuah. She's famous for Hawk Tuah, and her real name is Haley Welch. If you combine Hawk Tuah and the name of the girl, you get 93 in the same cipher as the Liber al vel legis. Okay. Not only that, guys, but if you just use the word Hawk Tuah, it equals 93. And of course, on the front of Aleister Crowley's Book of the Law is the number 93 in Roman numerals, XCIII. And Aleister Crowley is known for writing a book about a moon child. Okay? And moon child also equals 93, just like magic word. And he was all about abrahadabra, magic word. That equals 93. Okay? So lots of 93s connected to this. And what's the chances that Hawk Tuah girl equals 93? And then if you combine her real name with the Hawk Tuah, it equals 93. Okay. Now, Thelema is all about the sun, the moon, but there's three deities in Thelema, which is Crowley's religion, right? One of them, here's the symbol on the right of the symbol of the number, the beast symbol for, the number of the beast symbol for Thelema. And you're going to see at the top there, let me use my mouse. There is what looks to be an eye almost, but also it's the symbol of the astrology symbol of the sun, okay? And this represents two of the gods and goddess in Thelema. One is the full circle, which represents Nuit, and the middle point is the center point that represents Hadit. And then you're going to see a moon. So you're going to see the sun, and you're going to see the crescent shape. Here's the crescent moon. You're going to see the sun symbol and the crescent moon underneath. And these two circles also are part of the symbol, right? And they represent the combining of these two energies, the sun and the moon, creating Horus, the child, okay? And so this whole symbol looks like a phallus. Do you see it, guys? The phallus is right there, okay? This ties right back to Osiris and his son Horus with the story of the phallus. And considering that the sun is a main portion of this, right? Horus is the sun god, and the sun is supposedly 93 million miles away. And again, Thelema is all about the number 93, okay? So they tell us that the sun is approximately 93 million miles away. The whole religion of Thelema is based off the number 93. And again, this is all connected to this symbol that you see here on your screen, okay? Now, this should bring you to the Thelema concept that there's three different aeons or ages, okay? In the religion of Thelema, it's believed that the history of humanity can be divided into a series of aeons, each of which are accompanied by its own forms of magical and religious expression. The first of these aeons is of Isis, okay? The second is of Osiris, Okay. And the third, and one that we're currently supposedly in, according to Crowley, which is the one that he supposedly is supposed to guide people through, is what he said at least. The third aeon that we're currently supposedly in is the aeon of Horus, guys. So we're in, according to Crowley, starting in 1904 when he wrote his Book of the Law, we are in the age of Horus, the aeon of Horus. Okay. And Horus is associated with the eye of Horus, which in my mind is associated with the sun, which is the eye in the sky. Okay. So look at this. The Hawk Tuah girl was interviewed by Tim and D TV. And again, they use the ampersand. So if you just do the normal decoding without the symbol, you get Tim and D TV equals 35. Like Aleister Crowley, right? Aleister equals 35, Catholic 35. Catholic are the Holy See, right? Which equals, in the Holy See obviously connected to the eye. Holy See equals 35. Thelema, the religion, equals 35. The whole concept of Thelema is aeon, which equals 35. And again, the word eye equals 35. The eye of Horus, the eye in the sky, the sun, the Catholics, the Jesuits, sun cults, essentially. So all about the eye and the sun in the sky, right? So again, the interview done by Tim and D TV, and that equals 35, which connects perfectly with all of these symbols, right? And again, back in 1946, when Trump was born, I already showed you guys this, but on the day he was born, Aleister Crowley wrote to Jack Parsons and L. Ron Hubbard, the founder of Scientology. They were creating a moonchild based off Aleister Crowley's book, The Moonchild. Okay? Remember, moonchild equals 93, and Hawk Tuah equals 93, just like the number in Thelema. So Crowley writes this about the Aeon of Horus, which we're currently supposedly in. The crowned and conquering child who dieth not nor is reborn, but goeth radiant ever upon his way. Even so goeth the sun, for as it is known that the night is but the shadow of the earth, so death is but the shadow of the body that veileth his light from its bearer. Okay, so that's what Crowley wrote about the Aeon of Horus, the crowned and conquering child. Okay, the moon child. And so now we're going to look at the English Kubala Gematria cipher. Okay, I mentioned that in the beginning. I told you that Hawk Tuah girl in the Aleister Crowley Kabbalah cipher equals 111. Okay. Well, this cipher is all about the number 11 because each letter is counted 11 letters up. So A is worth 1 as normal, but the second letter is L, and L is normally the 12th letter, but you have to count 12 letters between A to get the next letter, which is L, because A plus 11 is 12. That gets you the letter L, which is the 12th letter. And you keep doing this and repeating, okay? So let me show you how this connects perfectly with this Hawk Tuah ritual. So Hawk Tuah is all about the girl. They revealed her name to be Haley Welch, okay? And again, we are in the Aeon of Horus, okay, which I just connected a few slides back. Aleister Crowley wrote about the Aeon of Horus, okay? Notice that the name Aleister equals the Aeon of Horus, and Aleister was the one, and Aleister's not his given name, guys. He called himself that. So Aleister equals Aeon of Horus, and he's the one supposedly ordained to guide people through the Aeon of Horus. And Haley Welch, the name of the Hawk Tuah girl, is a direct match in Crowley's cipher to his name and his Aeon of Horus. And remember, the word Tuah in Indonesian language means luck, magic, or witchcraft, or good fortune. It can also mean fortune. And the word fortune, which is the meaning of Tuah, equals 117 in the same cipher. So very interesting that this Kubala cipher, Crowley's cipher, that was gotten from his Book of the Law, leads us to this number perfectly with the Hawk Tuah girl. Okay. Now, another connection between Crowley and Hawk Tuah girl is that this event supposedly took place on June 11th. It was released on the YouTube channel Tim and D's TV on June 11th. And from Aleister Crowley's last death date, the day he died, anniversary on 12/1/23, to this video being posted is 194 days. And in Aleister Crowley's English Kabbalah cipher, his name equals 194. So 194 days after Aleister Crowley's death, Aleister Crowley equals 194. But what's even more interesting also is that it's 6 months and 11 days after Crowley's death, and the date that this video was released was 6/11. Okay. And on top of that, let's just break this. This is the big one, guys. Okay. So look at the interviewer. This is a guy from the Tim and D TV. And look at the shirt he's wearing, guys. He's wearing a shirt that says Superstar Department, but abbreviated, right? So I just took the full sentence, the full words on his shirt and decoded it, and I got the number 56. And this number was coming up a lot because I just got done talking to you about the Eye of Horus, which equals 56. I also got done talking to you about Aleister Crowley's The Aeon of Horus, which equals 56. Now, the Society of Jesus, the Catholic Church order, connected to the sun, right? They have the sun as their logo. Society of Jesus, 56. The sun is the all-seeing eye, which equals 56. Washington, D.C., and mind control, 56. And the sun is the eye in the sky, which equals 56. And the symbol of Thelema is a 6-pointed star with basically a 5-pointed flower with a 6-pointed star on the outside. This represents, again, I believe, the eye, guys. If you turn it sideways, you also get a very eye-looking thing with the light almost coming in, okay? The name of this symbol is the unicursal hexagram. But what's interesting is if you type in a unicursal hex, which is a 6, it also equals 56. So what I'm saying is that this is all tied to the eye in the sky, the sun, and don't overlook the fact that light equals 56, and sun produces light, and the eye is what receives the light, right? So this all ties to this eye in the sky, the Horus, the Aeon of Horus, the Eye of Horus, the Society of Jesus, the Sun Cult. Perfectly, guys. Absolutely perfect, okay? And last but not least, I decided to look and see how many days after the Pope's birthday this Tuah video was released, and it happened to be 177 days. This is a huge number with the Society of Jesus. Remember, the Pope is the first Jesuit Pope. Society of Jesus, right? The Jesuit order equals 177. This video was released 177 days after the Pope's birthday. The mark of the beast equals 177. Remember, I already told you that Aleister Crowley considered himself the beast, right? And just notice that the word numerical ritual equals 177 and the word propaganda. And propaganda is what this was, right? Not only that, guys, but the phrase that Aleister Crowley goes by, do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law, equals 177, okay? So 177 days after the Pope's birthday, the Jesuit order, 177, propaganda, do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law, 177. And there's probably more, but this was just like a perfect way to end it. But again, the 56 part, very big part. But again, guys, I hope you guys understood this. If you're not, go back and watch. I appreciate all the support. And as usual, please hit the like buttons on the way out. And I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.